Hey there. Ready to unlock the secrets to feeling more energized, maybe even turning back the clock a bit?
Sounds intriguing.
Well, we're diving deep into the world of oxidative stress today. And get this, research suggests it's implicated in up to 90% of age-related diseases.
90%. Wow, that's huge. But don't worry, we'll get to the part where we unpack some seriously effective ways to fight back.
You bet. We're using an excerpt from Oxidative Stress, Energy, Aging, and Mitigation Strategies to guide us today.
Oxidative stress, huh? That's a hot topic. A lot of folks are trying to wrap their heads around it.
For sure. What's fascinating is that it's often described as just an imbalance, too much of one thing and not enough of another, but...
Yeah, I can see how that's a bit of an oversimplification.
Right, because it really simplifies a very complex process. We're talking electron theft at a molecular level.
Electron theft. Okay, now you've got my attention.
I know, right? Sounds like a heist movie. Break it down for us, what's happening at the molecular level.
So imagine this. You've got these molecules in your body called free radicals.
Okay, free radicals, I've heard of those.
Right, and these guys are missing an electron, which makes them unstable and really reactive.
Uh-oh. Sounds like trouble.
Yeah, to stabilize themselves, they basically steal electrons from other molecules. And that causes a cascade of damage. Think of it like a chain reaction of tiny explosions happening inside your cells.
So it's like a microscopic domino effect, with one unstable molecule setting off this whole chain reaction of damage.
Precisely. And this damage, well, it can affect everything. From your energy levels to, you guessed it, how quickly you age.
Okay, so not good. But you mentioned something interesting earlier. You said free radicals aren't inherently bad.
Right. Some of them are actually essential, like for things like immune response. It's all about balance.
Got it. So some free radicals are good, some are bad, and our bodies are always trying to keep things in check. So where do these rogue molecules even come from?
Well, some are actually generated internally by your own body's processes. Even things like exercise, believe it or not.
What? Exercise? The thing we're always told is good for us.
Yeah, it's true. It's all about the right amount. We'll get into that later. But external factors play a huge role too, like pollution, UV radiation from the sun. Even some medications can contribute.
So even if I'm being super mindful about, what I eat and how I manage stress, just going about my day-to-day life can contribute to this oxidative stress.
It's the reality we live in, unfortunately. But knowing the sources, well, that's the first step to combating them.
Okay, good point. So we've got these free radicals causing this cellular mayhem. What's the impact on our energy levels?
Let's talk about the mitochondria.
Yes, the powerhouses of our cells. I've always heard that.
It's a great way to put it. Your mitochondria are responsible for converting food into usable energy, ATP. It fuels every single process in your body.
Wow, so they're kind of a big deal.
Totally. But here's the thing. When free radicals damage the mitochondria, well, that energy production takes a hit.
So oxidative stress is like draining our batteries, making us feel sluggish and fatigued. Okay, that explains a lot.
It really does. And here's the kicker. It creates this vicious cycle. Damaged mitochondria actually produce more free radicals. So it further depletes energy levels.
Yikes. So it's like a downward spiral.
Exactly.
But there's more to this oxidative stress story, right? We need to talk about aging. That's something I think a lot of us are, let's just say, we're interested in keeping those wrinkles at bay.
Oh, absolutely. Think of oxidative damage as these tiny little scars that accumulate over time.
Tiny scars. Okay, I can picture that.
Yeah. And while aging is a natural process, oxidative stress can really speed it up. It affects everything from how elastic your skin is to how well your organs function.
Okay, so it's like speeding up the wear and tear on our bodies.
I'd say that's a pretty good way to put it.
Not what I wanted to hear. But better to know the enemy, right?
Right. And remember, forewarned is forearmed. There's a lot we can do to fight back.
Tell me more. I'm ready. What's the next step?
Well, let's talk about how our bodies naturally fight back.
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed how colorful fruits and vegetables are?
Yeah, for sure.
Those vibrant hues often come from antioxidants, which are like the body's specialized defense force. They're going up against those free radicals.
Interesting. So we're talking about a diet rich in berries, leafy greens, all those colorful peppers I see at the farmer's market.
You got it. Blueberries, for example, they're packed with anthocyanins, and studies have shown they can help improve memory and cognitive function.
So they're like little brain-boosting powerhouses.
That's a great way to think about it.
Yeah.
And don't forget green tea. Lots of catechins, known for their potent antioxidant effects.
All right, so I'm picturing my plate as a rainbow of antioxidant-rich foods. But what about those of us who maybe aren't getting all the nutrients we need just from diet alone?
That's a great question, and that's where strategic supplementation comes in. It can really give our bodies that extra edge in the fight against those free radicals.
Okay, I'm definitely interested in hearing more about that. But before we get into the world of supplements, I think we should probably take a break and let our listeners process all this incredible information.
Sounds good to me.
We'll be back soon with more on how to combat oxidative stress and reclaim your energy and vitality.
Welcome back. I don't know about you, but I'm already feeling more energized just knowing we can take action against this oxidative stress.
That's the spirit. Knowledge is power, right?
Totally. Before we jump into those supplements you mentioned, I'm curious, how do we actually know if we're experiencing oxidative stress? It's not like it just shows up on a blood test, right?
You're right. It's not a simple diagnosis like, say, high blood pressure. It's something that researchers are still trying to, fully understand. But there are definitely clues we can look out for.
Okay, give us the clues. What should we be looking for?
Well, persistent fatigue, even when you're getting enough sleep, that's a big one. If your cells aren't producing energy efficiently, you're going to feel that drain. So that afternoon slump might be more than just needing another cup of coffee. Could be my mitochondria crying out for help.
It very well could be. And keep in mind, it's not just about physical energy. Oxidative stress can impact your brain too.
Oh, no, really?
Yeah, feeling foggy, having trouble concentrating, struggling with memory. Those could all be linked to oxidative damage.
Wow, okay, so fatigue, brain fog, anything else. What about those visible signs of aging we were talking about earlier?
Those are definitely on the list. Wrinkles are a natural part of aging, of course. But accelerated skin aging, like those deep lines or age spots, can be a sign of increased oxidative damage.
Right, because your skin is your largest organ and it takes a lot of environmental abuse.
Exactly. And inflammation, which is often triggered by oxidative stress, well, that can manifest in a ton of ways. From joint pain to digestive issues. It's like this smoldering fire that can affect different parts of the body.
Wow, this is really giving me a whole new perspective on how I view those, everyday aches and pains.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we've covered some of the warning signs. Now let's get into the solutions. You mentioned supplements earlier. What are some of the key players we should know about?
Well, let's start with CoQ10.
CoQ10, okay.
It's a powerful antioxidant that's actually involved in the electron transport chain within the mitochondria.
Wait, remind me, what was the electron transport chain again?
Remember that electron theft we were talking about?
Oh, right. Those sneaky free radicals.
Exactly. Well, CoQ10 helps smooth out that whole process, making energy production more efficient.
So it's like giving our mitochondria a boost of efficiency.
That's a great way to put it.
I like it. What about those NAD plus precursors you mentioned? Those sounded pretty intriguing.
Yeah, so NAD plus is essential for hundreds of processes within our cells, including DNA repair and energy metabolism.
Wow, hundreds. Okay, so it's pretty important.
It's vital, but the problem is NAD plus levels decline as we age. That's where those NAD plus precursors like NMN and NR come in. They essentially provide the raw materials our bodies need to make more NAD plus cells.
So it's like giving our cells a revitalizing makeover from the inside out.
I like that. You're getting.
Okay, awesome. You also mentioned resveratrol. Now, wasn't that the compound linked to, what was it, the French paradox? The idea that the French can eat rich foods and drink wine, but still have good heart health.
That's the one. Resveratrol is a powerful antioxidant found in grapes and red wine. Now, I wouldn't recommend relying solely on red wine for your resveratrol, but studies have shown it can activate sirtuins, which are a group of proteins linked to longevity and cellular health.
Wait, activating longevity genes? Sign me up.
Right.
Are there any other supplements we should have on our radar?
Absolutely. Alpha-lipoic acid is another one that's great for supporting mitochondrial health. Acts as a potent antioxidant and can even help regenerate other antioxidants like vitamin C and E.
Oh, wow. So it's like an antioxidant team player.
I like that. You're good at this.
Thanks. Okay, so we've got CoQ10, NAD plus precursors, resveratrol, and alpha-lipoic acid. That's quite a lineup. But supplements are only part of the picture, right? What other lifestyle factors play a role in managing oxidative stress?
You're absolutely right. Exercise, for example. Now, while it might temporarily increase free radical production, it actually triggers a hormetic response. So over time, it makes our bodies more resilient.
A hormetic response? What's that?
Think of it like building muscle. You have to tear it down a bit to make it stronger.
Okay, so pushing our bodies during a workout is actually a good thing because it's training our cells to become more resilient in the long run.
You got it. And sleep plays a critical role too. When you're sleep deprived, your body produces more cortisol, the stress hormone, and that can really contribute to oxidative stress.
Right. I know I definitely feel the mental and physical effects of not getting enough sleep. So getting those 7 to 9 hours of shut-eye isn't just about feeling rested. It's about giving ourselves a chance to repair and recharge too.
Exactly. And speaking of stress, managing chronic stress is key. Whether it's meditation, yoga, spending time in nature, or pursuing hobbies you love, finding healthy ways to de-stress can have a profound impact on your overall health.
It's all about finding what works for you, right? There's no one-size-fits-all solution when it comes to stress management.
Absolutely. And one last thing I want to touch on is environmental toxins. Reducing your exposure to things like pollution, pesticides, household chemicals, it can all significantly reduce your oxidative load.
So paying attention to things like the air quality in your home, choosing organic produce, opting for natural cleaning products, those things can really make a difference.
Every little bit helps. It's about being mindful of the things you're bringing into your home and your body.
This is all so fascinating. It really is a holistic approach. But before we move on, I want to ask, what about the mental and emotional side of aging? We've talked a lot about the physical aspects of oxidative stress, but how can we cultivate a mindset that supports healthy aging?
That's a great question, and one that is often overlooked. While there's a lot we can do to support our physical health, our mental and emotional well-being play a huge role in how we experience aging. Cultivating a positive mindset, nurturing social connections, finding purpose and meaning in life, these things can make all the difference.
It's not just about living longer, it's about living better.
Exactly. We'll delve a bit deeper into this in part 3, where we explore some fascinating research on the mind-body connection, how our thoughts and emotions can actually influence our cellular health.
Okay, I can't wait for that. We'll be back soon with more on the power of the mind and its incredible influence on aging. Welcome back to the deep dive. I am so ready for this last part of our exploration into oxidative stress. We've covered so much already.
We have, but there's still more to uncover.
There is. Okay, good. Because my brain is definitely in info sponge mode right now. What else should we know?
Well, we've talked a lot about the negative aspects of oxidative stress, but there's a twist. I think you'll find it pretty intriguing.
A twist? Okay, I'm all about plot twists. Lay it on me.
It turns out oxidative stress isn't always the villain in our health story.
Wait, really?
Yeah. In certain situations, it can actually be beneficial.
Hold on, are you telling me the thing we've been trying to combat this whole time can actually be good for us? I'm confused.
I know, right? It sounds counterintuitive. But there's this concept called hormesis. Essentially, it means what doesn't kill us makes us stronger. Exposure to small, controlled doses of stress can actually boost our resilience, improve our overall health even.
Okay. So it's like giving our bodies a little bit of a challenge to make them tougher, kind of like weightlifting, how it tears down muscle fibers so they rebuild stronger.
Exactly. It applies to oxidative stress too. When our cells experience a mild oxidative challenge, they activate these defense mechanisms, repair processes that make them better equipped to handle future stress.
Okay, I can see that. But how do we actually apply this hormesis concept? We can't exactly go around intentionally exposing ourselves to free radicals, can we?
Not exactly. But there are actually some surprisingly simple ways to harness this hormetic effect. Remember how we talked about exercise temporarily increasing free radical production?
Oh, yeah, right.
Well, it's a perfect example of hormesis in action.
So pushing our bodies during a workout is actually good because it's training our cells to become more resilient.
Yes. And it's not just exercise. Certain foods can induce a hormetic response too.
You mean like those antioxidant-rich foods we talked about earlier, all those colorful fruits and veggies?
Those definitely have their place, but we're talking about foods that go a step further. They actually trigger our body's own antioxidant defense systems. Cruciferous vegetables, green tea, even dark chocolate, they all contain compounds that activate these defenses, almost like preparing our cells for battle against future oxidative stress.
So they're like training our cells to become antioxidant ninjas.
Love that analogy.
Yeah.
And there are some supplements that can have a similar effect. We already talked about resveratrol, but another powerful one is curcumin.
Curcumin, remind me what that is again?
It's the active compound in turmeric. It's got potent antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. And yeah, it could also induce this hormetic response.
Wow, so we can strategically use these small stressors to our advantage. That's pretty cool. But what about the mental and emotional aspects of aging? We touched on this a bit in the last part, but I'd love to go a little deeper. How can our mindset influence our cellular health? I mean, that still sounds kind of woo-woo to me.
It's a great question. And it's an area of research that's getting more and more attention. Our thoughts and emotions can actually have a direct impact on ourselves.
Okay, but how is that even possible?
Every thought, every emotion, it triggers this cascade of physiological changes in the body. When we experience chronic stress, our bodies release hormones like cortisol, which can contribute to oxidative stress. But when we cultivate positive emotions like gratitude, joy, love, our bodies release different hormones, neurochemicals that can actually counteract the negative effects of stress, promote cellular health even.
So it's like our thoughts and emotions are creating a chemical environment in our bodies that can either, support or hinder our health.
Exactly. It highlights how important it is to nurture our mental and emotional well-being, just as much as we care for our physical health.
I'm with you on that. What are some practical things we can do to cultivate a more positive mindset? Things that actually support healthy aging.
Well, mindfulness practices like meditation can be really helpful for managing stress and cultivating a sense of inner peace. Spending time in nature, engaging in creative pursuits, nurturing social connections, those are all great ways to boost mood and reduce stress levels. And don't underestimate the power of gratitude.
Yeah, gratitude is huge.
It really is. Simply taking a few moments each day to appreciate the good things in life, it can have a profound impact on well-being.
So it's really all about being intentional about creating a lifestyle that supports both our physical and emotional health.
Yes, and that's really the key takeaway from our deep dive into oxidative stress today. It's complex, there are so many factors, but ultimately, we have the power to make choices that support our health and longevity.
I love that. I feel like I've gained a whole new understanding of how oxidative stress works and how to approach aging in a more empowered, proactive way.
That's fantastic to hear. And remember, it's never too late to start making positive changes. Even small steps can have a big impact over time.
That's so true. Well, I think it's time for us to wrap up our deep dive into oxidative stress. I want to thank you so much for sharing your insights with us today. This was incredible.
It's my pleasure.
And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this journey of discovery. We hope you've learned some valuable insights that will help you navigate the aging process with more energy, vitality, and a deep understanding of the incredible power you have to influence your own health. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep taking those small steps towards a healthier, happier you.